Live from an undisclosed location just outside of New Orleans, it's The Scoop. Tonight's guests, the BSI Comics Podcast. I'm Pickle.
And I'm Devin.
That being said, enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of The Scoop. So, Mr. Devin,
Yes.
how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Yesterday was my last day of class.
All right.
I
So, straight A's, what?
think I have a 94.
Good?
I'm
good.
just finishing up my last paper here, and then I have final exams on Cinco de Mayo. What kind of teacher puts a test on Cinco de Mayo? The biggest inconvenience ever. I want to go, because, turn 21 May 3rd, May 5th, go celebrate.
Yeah, go kick back a few beers.
Yeah, I mean, shit. I've been waiting 21 goddamn
21 years. 21 long years.
And this woman decides to schedule a goddamn exam on May 5th. She's been waiting for this for 21 years. She's like, I'm going to meet the fucking kid who's born in May at the end of the school semester and schedule a goddamn exam.
So, we are a week out from your birthday.
Yeah.
So, what kind of plans do you have for your birthday?
Well, actually, May 8th, there's a show, a Event Horizon show.
Yes.
Okay, so there was it was a secret surprise birthday party, and Ricky Ricky planned the surprise party, couldn't contain himself, and because he was like, "Hey, what are you doing May 8th?" And I'm like, "Oh, there's multiple bands that night." And instead of saying, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna go see you," I said, "Oh, I'm gonna see Art of the Process show," and just to mess with them. But no, I sincerely no, but seriously, I have something to do. I didn't have anything to do. I just wanted to mess with them. And he's like, and then he was asking me, hey, what's your favorite type of cake? And I was like, cheesecake. And he was like, that's not cake. And I'm like, that's fucking cake. It's cheesecake.
Yeah, cheese cake.
Yeah, no.
Is cake in the description? Yes.
No, he said, nope, can't have that. So anyway, he's surprising this surprise birthday party. And so, I mean, you should come to that.
I'm definitely going to
I'm
be there.
inviting you right now. I forgot to invite you, but May 8th, it's on a Monday night.
Yeah, I will definitely be there.
I'm not going to announce where it is because I don't want complete strangers showing up.
Well, you should. I mean, that way everybody gets an opportunity to see the great Ricky rock out.
With his guitar.
And
his beard and hair, and you can see everyone else in Event Horizon. And it's I think it's Metal Mondays. It's a new trend that they're starting at the place. But we'll post the details for that.
I'm not sure about that.
Shut up.
No one even said your name. A-word.
Jeez. No, but I'm really looking forward to that. Took a day off just for that.
Yeah.
The Tuesday off.
So, besides that, we have been officially racing now.
Yes, we have. We got fourth place.
We got fourth place.
No one fell in the water.
Yeah, no one fell in the water. For those of y'all that don't know, we have been going sailing the past several months, I guess.
We're on a race team.
We're on a race team, yeah.
Yeah, we're on a race team.
I'm the anchor.
Whenever the boat turns, Pickle, get on that side.
Get on the side.
Get on the side. No, I mean, I was watching. I mean, we were just sitting on the side, but I was watching what we had to do for next time, because we had experienced people there, and I was taking notes the entire time of, what everything did.
Yeah.
Because I want to be number one, goddammit.
That's right.
Because, the first half of the race, we were trying. They're pretty much getting their sea legs, getting used to their boat. Because the people, that's not their boat, so they're just kind of learning it. And then the second half, we were playing catch up. So, I mean, we didn't get last place. I mean, there's 3 boats behind us,
Yeah. But I'd say that was a great first run. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a great experience. Terrifying. My heart was beating. It's just crazy.
Yeah, when the boat does go almost to I don't know, like
45.
a 45 to 50 degree angle there.
Yeah.
You almost feel like, holy shit, this boat is about to flip over.
Yeah. And you're going, 7 nautical miles an hour? Something like that.
Yeah, 7, 8 nautical miles.
I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, this Sunday I got a burlesque show to go to over at the Valiant Theater in Araby. It's one of the big deal burlesque shows. Yeah.
Have you been doing some photo shoots lately? I've seen some pictures that you've been
God,
posting.
I've been meaning to tell you this. Oh my God, I had such a weird after Easter. I did a photo shoot with Dominatrix,
Yeah.
and then the day after Easter, she had all this leftover Easter candy, and she needed someone to film her squishing the Peeps with her feet. And I want to see. It's just ridiculous. It was 5 minutes of her recording her squishing Peeps with her feet. It was just me sitting there.
Just because that's some people's
some people.
fetish. Yeah.
I mean, I hate Peeps. You might love them, but you might have a childhood memory that like links that fetish to you. I asked her, I'm like, why Peeps? And then she's like, some people make a mental connection, and then they also might have a foot fetish. And she just, and then she took the chocolate cream eggs. Those were, and I was
yeah,
clean.
like the Cadbury eggs or whatever.
I had to clean this fucking shit up, by the way, while I was also filming, just to make it quicker. But she had those cream eggs, squishing them, and she's like putting her feet together, and it's like stick. And I'm just like filming all of this. And the third one, the weirdest one, was her burping, just straight up burping, and like looking up in the camera like that. She was just making herself fucking burp and shit. Just 5 minutes of me just panning back and forth, and she's just like, "Yeah, you like that?"
Well,
and then she showed me the website where she sells these videos, and she's like, "Yeah, I make this much money about a month on average," and I was like, "Me and Pickle need to start doing this." His face doesn't even have to be in it. His feet, though. His feet needs to be.
My feet need to be in these?
We need to get some videos of your feet. So that was that photo shoot. Very weird. And then I got a roller derby game coming up this Sunday also. It's a fundraiser for the New Orleans brass team.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And we're going to start trying to do like a hair raiser where they auction off different sections of the skaters' bodies. So it's like $5, and then you get to wax them.
Wait, so...
It's a hair raiser. Get it?
Yeah.
It's a fundraiser, so it's like you donate $5 to the team for their traveling funds and gear, and you get a section of like for their like they had a hairy chest. I want to do the chest. They put the wax strip and then whoosh, and wax it. You've seen 40-year-old version.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, like that.
How is this pleasant for the skaters?
It's not.
It gives them a chance to go play across country.
It's it's the aerodynamics. It's like swimming. You gotta shave your. They need to get faster, and they want to get. They're not gonna shave their bodies for free, so they're thinking, hey, we might as well have fun with it, That's not the story. They need money, and they're gonna wax their bodies off. And we gotta get Tim in here and give him that oversized check for skating. He skated 270 laps, and I think it was under an hour, or was it 30 minutes? I think it was under an hour skating nonstop on a track. And he was wearing our scoop shirt, and that thing was soaked. Anyway, he did it for 10 cents. Anyway, I owe him $27. All that work for an hour. And here's $27. But he needs to come in and we can give him his oversized check. But
Well,
I digress.
Let's get him on here.
I'm trying to get him on. He actually dislocated his shoulder this past week at one of the games. It was this past Sunday, when it was past Saturday, it was from 8 a.m. to about 8 p.m. Just nonstop roller derby games. People from Oklahoma, people from Texas, Big Easy Roller Girls games. Baton Rouge was here. You had the men's New Orleans brass team. It was just chaos and slaughter. Some teams were playing back-to-back games. We'll play an hour-long game and then go another hour against another team. It was just 8 hours of just nonstop roller derby. And and then I accidentally dislocated his shoulder. And he actually had a game the next day. They had another game, and he was on the sidelines coaching. Yeah.
So,
boy, you've been
my week has been pretty much dedicated to the boat.
The boat.
Yeah.
I was out there. Cleaning the boat. Where were you? Where were you?
I was in Lafayette. I was on my way back from Lafayette.
Doing what?
I was at a Lions convention.
Lions convention.
Yeah, it's been well documented. I am a proud member of the Lions Club.
Proud?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's your tattoo, huh?
My tattoo.
Your Lions Club tattoo.
I barely have a tattoo. It's
show him your tattoo.
Me.
Pull up the tattoo.
Everybody's seen the pickle scoop.
Show him that we got new viewers every day.
Every day.
They need to see that goddamn tattoo.
Yes, I do have a pickle scoop tattoo.
That's what's funny is even when we went to the roller derby game, you were recognized. Hey, aren't you the guy with the pickle scoop thing on your arm?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, I was.
am. And then they're like, "Can I see it?" You're like, "Yeah."
Hold on, the door's right over there. Give them the gun show.
So the boat. I mean, and then
where the boat is usually housed is out in New Orleans East, and the race it starts pretty much out at near South Shore Harbor, or near West End.
West End, yeah.
So for us to get there and get it all the way over there in time for the race, we would have to be on the boat and leaving dock at like 4:30, which, we all have jobs. It's kind of hard to do. So the night before, we brought the boat from
which is an hour
South
30
Shore.
minutes.
Yeah, we brought it from South Shore over to West End. Participated in the race on Wednesday, and then Thursday, we brought the boat back home.
Another hour and 30 minutes.
Yes. But a fun ride,
Yeah.
Always have a good time on the boat.
The boat with no bathroom.
It does have a bathroom.
It has a bathroom, but he keeps leaving the bathroom where he's like, "Hey, you guys can piss in there," and then someone will start grabbing knobs and pumping it. Then he's like, "Oh, hey, I forgot to tell you, the tube's not connected to anything," so there's piss starts shooting back out at you.
Well, you gotta close off the seal thing.
No. That was the first time with the kids on there. The seal thing wasn't closed. It was pumping back out. And the second time, this past time, the seal wasn't closed, which was his fault again for not explaining, hey,
you gotta close the seal.
You gotta close the sink. Yeah. But it was a fun time.
Yeah.
You get a good tan? Get some sun?
I mean, it's mostly dark when. It was sunset.
A moon tan?
It was sunset / moonrise.
Yeah.
Both times or all 3 times when we were sailing. So kind of hard to get a tan at those times.
Hey,
but
people can dream.
Well, before we get really too far, we do have some guests that are going to be here with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight we have the guys from the BSI Comics Podcast who are going to be coming in and telling us a little bit about Free Comic Book Day. For longtime listeners, back when we were doing the Pickle Scoop show, we always had Tim or Buck or somebody on to talk about Free Comic Book Day and kind of drum up some interest in it. And it is coming up. It's going to be May 6th. BSI is one of the participating comic book stores in the area. If you are not in the New Orleans area, you can go to freecomicbookday.com where you can pull up a list of all the local participating stores. But they're going to tell us a little bit about some of the comic books that will be coming out, some of the guests that we can expect to see, things like that. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the BSI Comics Podcast guys, Buck and Fletch Boogie.
Do I have a monitor?
And we're back.
No.
Tonight we are joined by special guests from BSI Comics here to tell us a little bit about I'd go so far as to say a major holiday in the comic book world.
You could say that.
That we have Free Comic Book Day coming up within the next 2 weeks, I believe, right now.
It's actually a week from Saturday, May 6th.
It's always the first Saturday in May.
And it always corresponds with Lemonade Stand Day.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, it does.
We need to get some co-branding.
That's why
need
every
to get
year
some
I
free
bring
lemonade.
lemonade
Yeah.
to. Every year when I go to Free Comic Book Day, I bring lemonade.
Well, every the first weekend of May every year is the first blockbuster of the summer, which is always a comic book movie. So, like, what was the one last year?
Last year was Civil War.
Yeah, it was Civil
Yeah.
War. This year it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah.
Usually Marvel takes them. Was Man of Steel one of them, or was that? I think that was in July.
I don't know. I wouldn't call that a blockbuster.
Well, they busted a lot of blocks, but sorry, terrible joke.
So, with Free Comic Book Day, it obviously there are free comic books. I've been the past several years now, and there's a handful of comics to choose from.
We got about 50 this year.
Really, there's that many of them this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's always at least 30,
Yep.
something like that. It's just that people tend to focus, just like any other part of the comics industry, people tend to focus on like the bigger companies like Marvel, DC, Image, but there's always like kids comics and stuff like that. And that's the nice thing about Free Comic Book Day is, there's something for everybody, and you don't have to have been a long-time comics reader to come pick something up. Sometimes there's like Simpsons comics, or like I don't think there's any there this year.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
there
Simpsons.
is.
There's
Okay.
always like a Simpsons
Bongo.
comic.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, there's always like a Tick comic. So even if they don't put new Tick comics out, there's always a new Tick story for Free Comic Book Day.
Is there a limit to how many free comics you get?
Yeah, well, the thing that a lot of people don't know is that the stores pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the customers don't, but the stores do. So, basically, we order what we can afford to invest. So no matter who it is, no matter how regular a customer you are, everybody only gets to choose 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean that way, because
Well, it makes sure also that some douche doesn't go in
Yeah.
and be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to take all 60 of them.
And it happens every year.
well,
Yeah.
Like I'll have one of each.
I don't think there's ever been a
they're
year where we haven't run. Well, there's been a couple years where we didn't run out of everything, but most years we do run out of completely out. And sometimes we'll even a couple of years we've gone into back stock for like one shots and stuff like that, just to have something more to give away for the people who come towards the end of the day. So it's but yeah, I mean everybody gets their selection of 5 comics, and we don't order them evenly because obviously the Marvel and DC stuff goes first. So we order much heavier on that than a comic from a publisher that you've never heard of.
Well, usually there's also one that's the past several years, it seems there's been one that's always like a hardback. Is there one like that this
There's
year?
no hardcover this year. There was like a Mouse Guard,
Yeah, that was Boom. Put it out. Yeah.
No hardcover this year.
So which ones are y'all looking most forward to?
You want to go first?
I guess the biggest one is Secret Empire. It's Marvel's big event that's going into. Yeah, we have a copy of it right here.
Yeah, you probably heard about this. It's been making a lot of news because people have been sort of overreacting. Basically, the story is that something happened to Captain America to make him a secret agent of Hydra. And so he basically leads Hydra to take over the United States of America.
He's been evil the entire time.
Yeah,
Right.
and so people have been kind of freaking out, and it's like...
There's a lot more to it that if you're not reading the story, you
Yeah.
know, you wouldn't really get. But it's this big, deep, twisty, turny kind of thing.
And
And
a lot of people that didn't, they're just like, Captain America can't be evil. There's
Right.
no possible way. You can't change my mind.
But this story is actually
it's
not
kind
a
of,
reprint. It's part of the bigger picture, so it's a little extra. A lot of the Free Comic Book Day books, they'll do like reprints of popular books, or maybe for a new reader to check out, they'll reprint the first issue of Wonder Woman or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can
that's
give
one
that
of the
to
ones
someone.
that's coming out this year. The DC one.
Yeah, they are doing
is,
that
is a reprint of Wonder Woman #1, which came out 4 months ago.
with the Rebirth launch.
Yeah.
But
No, wait, it'd be longer than that. It would be last year. Right?
it was last year, end of
Okay.
last year. And the Secret Empire book, the Marvel book, is actually a whole new story. So it's something you can only get on Free Comic Book Day. It's not, a reprint of something that's already come out.
Yeah.
My the one that I'm most interested in. I mean, I've gotten to read it already because I work for the store, but it's called I Hate Image.
Oh, I
And-
grabbed the wrong one.
It's based on.
I failed.
What did you think of? Oh, we do have to talk about that one
Oh,
because
no,
it's
I was
awesome.
right.
No, there's a series called I Hate Fairyland, and it's by a very well regarded artist named Scotty Young, and it's about a little girl named Gertrude who gets taken to a magical place called Fairyland, and she's sent on a quest, and she finds the key, she gets to go home, but she's kind of dumb, and she never finds the key. So 30 years later, she's still trapped in the body of a little girl, and she's like she'll curse, but because she's in Fairyland, it'll be like Mother Fluffer, and there's they kind of change up all the different curse words to be more cutesy, but it's hyper violent. They you'll see like teddy bears being brutally like decapitated and stuff like that.
It very much looks like it's for children. This is a problem we have with the book on the rack. Because there's another version of the cover. Instead of I Hate Fairyland, it says F Fairyland. And it constantly gets turned around, and I have to be on the watch to flip
So
it.
You have,
But-
you have to put like a not for children.
I just flip it over
Yeah.
backwards.
Okay.
But so for Free Comic Book Day, Scotty Young did a special issue called I Hate Image, where basically Gertrude goes through the various Image Comics universes. So, if you're familiar at all with any of the like original Image stuff,
Everybody knows Spawn.
She goes through the Walking Dead universe, Spawn. I don't remember all of them, but there's a popular comic called Southern Bastards that she goes and spoiler alert, she eats them. Like it's a weird comic because it's so cutesy, but it's also like kind of gross, and but it's probably I think it's the most fun. Well, okay, maybe not the most fun comic because we'll talk about another one in a second. But I Hate Image is the one that I think most people are gonna like, or at least of a certain age. But there is another one, that I'd forgotten about. There's a Star Trek comic coming out, and I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's set. You know how Star Trek has the Mirror Universe?
Yeah.
Well, this one has the Next Generation crew in the Mirror Universe, and it's got the cover has Jean-Luc Picard like from an Axe body spray commercial.
With the cut off
Yeah.
With the
he's-
cutoff,
shirt.
Yeah,
still wearing his
got some
captain gear, but with
he's
cut
got
off.
some bling.
Got some definition on his biceps.
Yeah.
Data's a cyborg.
He's got
and,
interchangeable arms.
And what was Marina Sirtis's character?
Deanna Troy.
Deanna Troy looks like she's been selling her body, frankly, But yeah, it's called Mirror Broken. It's pretty awesome looking. Like I'd buy a poster of this,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the other favorite that I have of this year.
The other, I guess, fun one you could say is Rick and Morty.
What?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's gonna be one?
There's absolutely a Rick and Morty story.
No way.
Same
Well,
guys that do
there
the
are
show.
Rick and Morty comics.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't been following it.
They're done by the same guys that do the show.
Yeah.
So it's the same timeline, same universe, same feel.
Is it the exact same episodes or is it?
No,
Oh.
it's extra
No,
stuff.
Yeah,
it's
it's
new
not
stories.
repeat stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
like,
yeah,
So
Like, there was-
that actually brings up an interesting topic because I was curious. What are your thoughts on some of the comic books that get created, I guess, after a storyline? Because from what I've always understood, Rick and Morty was a television first, television
Oh, yeah,
show
yeah, it
first,
is.
and
It
then
was-
the
it was
comic
a-
book followed.
It was a YouTube really
Very
making fun of Back to the
vile-
Future.
vile YouTube
Yeah.
show.
Like licking balls.
Lick
And
my
that's-
balls, Marty.
yeah.
Do you like the expansion though
It depends
of
on
the universe into the comic book world?
It depends on the property. Like one problem that I tend to have with like I think you can translate a comic to something else, whether it be a TV show, a
movie,
cartoon,
yeah.
a live action movie. I have a hard time going from something that was an originally like a live action property to a comic. Like for instance,
I got it right here.
like Dexter comics or something like that. Buffy's actually not too bad because it has a lot of the input of Joss Whedon, but there's a lot of them that I've seen, and I'm just throwing out Dexter. I don't know whether or not it was a good comic, but the problem is like when you have a property that revolves so much around the personality of the actors involved, then you go to a comic.
Yeah, how can you translate that onto
Right.
paper?
Because all you're getting, even if the person who wrote the book worked on the show, all you're getting is the voice of the person who's writing
It's
it.
already ruined it for you in your head.
Yeah, so you can't like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends on the comic. But something like Rick and Morty, I think, is a little easier because, for instance, like if I read a Batman comic, I hear the voices of Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy. So because it was a cartoon, so it's
Right.
it's a similar translation. I think Rick and Morty is the same thing, especially when you're talking about the same guys that work on the show are doing the comic. I think it's a little easier, and in fact, it sort of enhances it because you can read the Rick and Morty comic with those voices in your head.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And on the
but-
flip side, on a Buffy thing, the show was canceled, but
It kept going on.
it keeps going.
Yeah.
The comic books that come out every year are actually a new season. So, when it got canceled, now it's season 11, season 12, season
Yep.
13. So the fans can kind of still get the stories.
Which I wish they would do for like. There's a few shows out there that get canceled, and you're like, what the hell?
Don't say Firefly.
Yeah, I was gonna say fire.
well, there are Firefly comics. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them I don't really care for, and a lot of times to me it also depends on the artist. Like the some of the people they put on Firefly go for like a more cartoony style, and you
Doesn't
know,
work.
like Firefly was so stylized in that like sci-fi western way that cartoony to me,
Just doesn't fit.
yeah, it's the wrong approach. But yeah, they occasionally do Firefly miniseries, or do they call them Serenity? I think they call them Serenity in the comics.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
same verse.
Do you guys ever have like people camp out for the thing? Like, how many people usually? You guys like
Not so much
have a
camp
time
out.
where you close the doors and then you're like, this is when we're gonna let
We
everyone in.
open normal hours, which is 10 to 6 on that day, but people will be out there from 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
lined
Every year's kind of different. Like the first year that I worked for Comic Book Day, which was probably about 6 years ago now, I remember the line was like out the door. The LSU store next door was really pissed at us, and it
Fuck
states.
LSU. Comic books rule.
I'm 100%
I'm-
with you there.
Legally,
Take that, jocks.
He's
I'm
not
not
a-
allowed to agree.
His wife is
with
a
that.
huge LSU fan. But that the first year, like it was constant until 2:00, and at 2:00 it dropped off. And in other years, like it does different things. Like I think early on one year, like there weren't that many people, and then around noon, everybody came in. And then some years it's spotty, like waves of people come in. So every year, Free Comic Book Day is kind of a different experience. And but it's a good rule of thumb is if there is something that you want to see, and you can go to freecomicbook.com and see all of the different comics that are available, but there's something specific that you want, okay, if it's Secret Empire, unless you're coming at 6 o'clock, odds are we probably will still have a copy. But for anything other than Marvel and DC, you're taking a little bit more of a risk. I don't know how heavily we went in on I Hate Image, but it's got to be less than Secret Empire.
Yeah, that's like the third largest order we did.
Right.
I want to get my hands on that Rick and Morty.
I'll give you this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta have my Szechuan sauce.
You just can't post it on the internet.
Like take photos of it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like we've read it because we work for the store, but
Yeah.
like we're not technically allowed to give them out, so we probably shouldn't have said anything.
You shouldn't have said that on. God, now we gotta edit it out.
Well, it's fine. Promo copy. It's fine.
We'll just blurp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're media. I think that's fine. You're
Yeah,
media.
we can fix the truth.
But yeah, like if you were to like post pictures of it online, we would actually be in legitimate trouble. There's like for instance, on Tuesdays, the orders come in for the week, so
Right.
he's got to go upstairs and like sort everything out, and people who have pull folders. So we put everything up on the rack on Tuesday. And people will come in, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to buy this," and we are absolutely not allowed. We're not owned by the distributor Diamond, but we're beholden
They put
to
strict,
them.
they put strict regulations on.
They
to
send
you.
people in to try and
ensure that-
buy books on Tuesdays.
What?
Yeah, they secret shop us, but it's always like they choose really stupid people who don't know anything about comics to do it.
Hey man, can I get this?
It's always real obvious, when they come in.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm looking for these specific books. I'm like, yeah, those don't come out till tomorrow.
Still
Make
has
sure you
their-
mark this on the secret shop report so we don't get in trouble.
Still has their badge on.
Yeah, start pointing at the things like you need to find.
Well,
like,
sometimes
the
it'll
TV
be
is
like
on the wall.
it'll be like a 60-year-old woman, and you're like, they didn't read comics in your day, or you didn't. Like,
Comic books came out when she.
I'm looking for the Super Guy commercial, comic book that came
I'm
out.
trying to find a comic book for my my grandson.
oh no, those are real. Those are
Yeah,
real
I know.
those. Do you have the Walking Deads from AMC?
With the zombies.
It's usually around Christmas time. It's like, my grandson said he wants Deadpool and The Walking Dead.
He's
How
6
old
years
is he?
old.
He's 6. That's yeah.
That's
like-
probably not the best books for him.
I'm not gonna tell you what kind of choices to make.
I made
but-
my grandma do that because no one else would give me those gifts. I was like,
Yeah.
I want Grand Theft Auto. She's like, what's that? I'm like, it's a really cool game. Let's go. Let's go. Get in the car. Take me there.
Well, Walking Dead's a little bit worse than Grand Theft Auto.
Come on.
I don't know, man.
Getting
Have you ever played?
hookers and shit.
Have you ever
could,
played
like,
GTA?
San
Once,
Andreas?
I don't
Yeah, I
know,
mean,
I
you
guess.
can you can go into the alleyways with hookers in the car and
Yeah.
Well, one of the main characters
purchase their services, shall we say, and then
Yeah.
beat the hell out of them and take your money back.
The new one's got a strip club.
Yeah, the strip club, and you can actually like befriend
Yeah.
them. You know.
You become like a regular, and then you be friends with them.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever had their penis nailed to a board in Grand Theft Auto?
No.
All right, then I think I've rested my case.
Spoilers.
From what, 8 years ago?
Nah. It didn't happen on the TV show yet.
No, it won't.
So
No penis nailing.
you'd mentioned that every year it's kind of a different experience. On top of being different flows of guests coming in, you do have special guests there for you to meet and greet. I know that this year y'all have Week in Geek.
They've been there for the last 3 years or so, maybe longer than that. I know they've been there before. Maybe they
Yeah,
were
they've been there before.
It's not been. It's been a while.
Sorry, We Can Geek guys. No, we've got Blake Petit, who's always there. He has his own podcast, though he doesn't do it regularly anymore, called All New Showcase. He writes books. We have
Also known as an author.
we have our friend Preston Azevedo, who's a great painter / comic book creator. Who else do we have? Jesse Elliott.
This will be
who-
Jesse's first time.
Yeah, he actually. I'm a very sad man that loves Kingdom Hearts, and he actually just recently did a print for me of me as a Kingdom Hearts character.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it's really pathetic for a man who's going to be 38 years old in 2 months. And then maybe my favorite, we have. Are y'all familiar with the show Babylon 5?
Yeah, I'd heard y'all on y'all's podcast actually talking a little bit about it.
We're
People
gonna
do
have
listen to it.
one of the main characters from seasons 3 and 4. He might have been in 2. Jason Carter, who's he's done everything. He's done stage, screen, big and small, and he's been in New Orleans apparently for a while now, and nobody knew. And he's gonna come down, which is cool. I mean, it's a little unusual for it's our first time having like a TV star.
Tried to get a little more variety this year. There's a little bit of everything,
But he's a really cool, weird guy. If you offer him pineapple pizza and alcohol, he'll probably say yes.
The only reason I know about Babylon 5 is through Claudia Christian, because
Ivanova.
she voiced like in a few cartoons I watch.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a huge Claudia Christian fan. Ivanova is one of the hottest women in sci-fi.
I didn't realize just how many things he had been in until I started looking at the credits. Like I knew the obvious ones, but I mean, he did a part in like Lois and Clark. There was 90210.
He was in Buffy.
Yeah, he was in Buffy.
Yeah, I was looking at his IMDb today.
He voiced James Bond in one of the 007
GoldenEye,
games.
I think. Was it GoldenEye?
It wasn't GoldenEye. It was
Okay.
Rogue Agent.
Oh, sorry.
But
There's no voices in GoldenEye.
Oh. Excuse me.
Slap chop. Sorry.
But no, he's done a few video games actually. No, he's a really cool guy. It was very weird meeting him because Babylon 5's like my all-time favorite show, and
it was actually pretty awesome watching you meet him. Because I had told you that he was coming to
I
one
wasn't
of our
paying
Drink and Draw
attention.
events at the shop. We have like local artists get together once a month. And I was like, yeah, Jason Carter's going to be coming by. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like,
I wasn't paying attention.
He like completely
Blew
just
him off.
blew it off.
Blew it off.
Yeah, he was like, "Tell your friend Jason he can come, whatever."
So we're sitting down there with Preston, and he comes walking in the door, and this dude's face just was like I've never seen him that happy before. It was awesome. He's like, "You're Jason Carter." He's like, "Yep."
Yeah, it was pretty odd, and I had to shut up because I get if I'm trying to impress somebody, I get really weird and say dumb things. So like I was like, shut up, don't
Bomb
make any.
Pat collection, something like that.
It's okay. You didn't have to worry about that. There was someone else there that took care of that for you.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about her though because she was a nice woman. There was an old lady that came in that didn't seem to know what we were or what we were doing, and like it was just kind of off. And then she started hitting on him.
No, she wasn't hitting on him.
She was totally hitting on him.
She was like, "Keep talking, London."
Keep talking London. What she wanted to hear
You
his
sound like you're from
accent, yeah.
London.
Cockney or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Cockney, but I know what you're
But
saying.
his British accent.
Yeah. No, he's got that Shakespearean type of English voice. So, but anyway, but he's a really interesting guy. So, yeah, it's BSI's first like celebrity. I mean, we've always had like really cool creators and stuff locally, but at least as long as
Yeah, I know y'all always try to keep the you'd mentioned the Drink and Draw Society, that a lot of times y'all do like to keep the guys from the Drink and Draw Society in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I know I've seen Laddie over there a few years. I've seen
Laddie
Ted
actually
over
hadn't done
there.
it in maybe like 8 years or so.
No, it hadn't been
No,
that
it
long.
hadn't been that long, huh?
Yeah, he used to do media. He used to do media
Yeah, I
underground.
know he was doing
Yeah.
media.
But I think it's like 7 or 8 years since he's done BSI.
This is definitely the most diverse.
How
of
often do you
people.
guys do the drink and draw?
Once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Mhm. When,
Oh, I gotta put up that event.
You should make that event. Yeah.
when do you guys? Is it
We
like the last-
okay. Normally we do it the first Thursday of each month. We had a little bit like people were a little bit upset because like we do it at BSI Comics,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, the first Thursday of this month is 2 days before Free Comic Book Day, and they thought we were going to do it, and we were like, we'll do it the week after, but Free Comic Book Day is
y'all
super
got so
busy.
much stuff going on,
Yeah.
and
When
When the
everything
store
ready
closes,
for the store.
we got busy work to do because the upstairs has to be ready.
Big boy work.
Yeah, and so this month it's actually going to be
Second
the Thursday after. Yeah,
Okay.
but typically it's the first Thursday of every month, and it's drink and draw is almost inaccurate at this point. Like people
It's
do
not
tend
really
to drink.
just artists. It's pretty much anything creative, you know.
Macaroni art.
Yeah, but half the people
Booby
don't even
tassels,
end up
that
drawing.
happens.
It's more because the thing about artists, particularly in the comics industry, but I assume most artists in general, is that it tends to be a lonely profession. You know, if you're drawing comics for a living, you're stuck in your house like working, and so drink and draw is an excuse for these people to actually associate with other human beings and sort of have.
Well,
an
do you
outside
think
life.
that the change in how comic books are drawn has changed that to where, I mean, for many years it was always on paper, and within the past, I don't know, decade, it's moved more to an online.
That's a you question. You're the artist.
It's really it's still probably like 50-50. I mean, a lot of guys still work traditional. Main reason being, if you work digital, you don't have an original to sell. So
the biggest difference is that there's less inkers, which was and to me it's actually hurts the comic book industry because some artists inking doesn't make a big difference. Other ones inking makes a huge difference, and like for the easiest example for me is there was a inker named Scott Williams. If you grew up during the 90s during the image era and you knew people like Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri and a bunch of other guys, the commonality of all of them was that Scott Williams inked all of their art. So like you could actually see how much Scott Williams really unified their art. And I'm not saying they wouldn't have been superstars without it, but inkers make a big difference. And these days with digital, especially somebody who goes exclusively digital, there's no reason for them to have inkers because there's really nothing for them to ink.
Right.
So it's a weird transition for the industry because of that.
most of the the major guys work traditional still though. I said you want to have the originals, even not to sell, just to have something tangible, not just a hard drive. Like, here's my career.
Yeah.
You think?
I could see exactly where you're coming from with that.
As far as the audience, like for when you were a kid, is compared to like the audience when you were a kid to now, do you think that it's like a larger kind of pool of people?
It's really hard to say because when I was a kid, that was the era when comics were selling hundreds of thousands of comics. What the problem is that wasn't an accurate number. That wasn't an accurate number because people were buying multiple copies because people got into their heads that these comics were worth money. But if there's 3 million copies of what you have out there, it's worth nothing. You go to any comic shop and you can find multiple copies of Spawn,
X-Men #1,
X-Force, X-Men #1, like those things. And people bring them in like, yeah, this is worth $200, right? No, it's worth zero. It's worth nothing. But I've heard that the rough estimate is like 250,000 people in America read comics. I've never really believed that though.
I'll say this, as far as like sales numbers, they're not going to be as high as they were, in the I want to say golden era, but the 90s and everything. But as far as a wider reach, absolutely. As far as diverse, I don't like using that word, but
yeah,
Diversified.
It's so hard to say because certainly comics have never been more visible to people. But
the range of people that come in the store is just crazy. I mean, we have a lady that is, I think she's like 65. She reads Walking Dead every month. So,
well, it's like with the digital thing. What was it, Scungy? He recommended this one of the apps where you can see, you just pay your like $5 or $10 a month, and it has every comic ever made by the people.
Yeah, you talk about the Marvel app, Comixology.
Yeah, I think that was the Marvel app.
Okay, Marvel Unlimited, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like every Marvel comic ever.
It stays like 6 to 8 months behind new releases, but they kind of cater the stuff that you can see on there. But that's a great way to read a large chunk of stuff.
Well, it depends on what you. My problem with all that stuff is those comics weren't formatted to work in a tablet. I still prefer hard copies of everything. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't buy digital. I do own digital comics that I keep on my iPad Mini, but I mostly use those for like when I'm traveling, because it used to be like if I was going on a cruise, I would say choose 4. I call them trades. You can call them graphic novels, whatever you want. But I would choose like 3 or 4 to go on the cruise. Well, those end up being heavy. It's more weight that goes in your,
Yeah.
But if you have stuff on your tablet, it's like, oh, okay, I can just load it up
That's
with
what I'm
whatever
saying.
I
Is
want.
like you have almost every comic on
Right.
your something about this big. You know.
But I think I'm not really positive. But I think with Unlimited, I think it's like the streaming thing though. I don't think it like stores it. I think you
no, but I mean you can access it. It's just
Right.
like,
Right.
depending on where you are. Yeah.
yeah, get that Wi-Fi.
But
I usually I think the only one that I would keep like that I enjoy having a hard copy is Watchmen. That was the one that I was like I need to have this copy wherever I go. And so far I'm just building up my Doctor Who, building up. I had my X-Men, my Punisher from back in the day. Because the Punisher one was my first one when I got it when I was a kid, and it's like this is violent. I'm like I like this. Swamp Thing, a few other ones.
Alan Moore Swamp Thing run.
Yeah.
So I know besides the free comic books, y'all usually do run some specials in the store itself.
Yeah, we'll be running a bunch of in-store events. I can't really say exactly what they are right now. And we'll also have another table upstairs featuring our Super Saturday events, which is a free event we do the second Saturday of every month. And it's an all-ages thing, mostly for kids, but it really is all ages. We have grown-ups that come and do it, and we'll do like a paper craft thing. For Easter, we decorated superhero eggs. We made marshmallow guns. It's just always something different. So we'll have a table with sign-ups for that and some of the stuff that we made, and we're also going to have a prize wheel where you can spin it to win, posters and action figures and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
We mentioned briefly the BSI Comics Podcast. Y'all do a weekly podcast yourselves as well, where y'all discuss.
Weekly's not really a good
Well,
word.
yeah, mostly weekly, kind of weekly.
Yeah.
Almost weekly.
But y'all do a show where you talk about some of the hot topics in the comic world.
Very candidly.
Where can people listen to that?
Well, we do have a YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and you plug in BSI Comics, you can find it. But the easiest way is actually to go to bsicomics.com. And, that's where we keep, anything that happens as far as like we post a weekly top 5 comics of the week. I try to post a book of the week, which is like a new trade or graphic novel that comes out. But if you go look through it, you'll see BSI Comics Podcast, whatever the episode is, and you can find them all there. And you can always like and subscribe it on YouTube if you enjoy what we do.
And a lot of times, one of the topics that y'all do talk about is the upcoming superhero and sci-fi movies. Do y'all have a particular? I'd like to get y'all's take. What is the comic book type movie that you are most looking forward to, either this summer?
I can go with a not obvious answer because the obvious answer is your Guardians and
Thor.
yeah, Aliens actually.
Aliens?
Yeah,
For me, it's Thor just because it's the kind of integration of Thor and Planet Hulk.
it's kind of cool. That's a new thing they've been doing is taking multiple stories and put them together to one story. Whether it works, we'll see. But it looks pretty cool.
If we're talking general sci-fi, for whatever reason, Pirates of the Caribbean 5 is actually the one I think looks really the best. But as far as comics, I really love the Thor trailer, but I'm very concerned about how uneven Thor is going to end up being, because they're throwing a lot of stuff in that movie, including like Doctor Strange is in it at some point, and there's multiple villains, which usually when there's more than one villain, it's usually not a good thing in a comic book movie.
That's what I didn't. Well, that's one thing I didn't like, because you don't fear that villain. A villain is someone you need to fear. Like in Doctor Strange, the antagonist was just,
Well,
you know,
I liked the movie. I didn't think it was
a good movie, just crappy villain.
Visually, it was brilliant, but it was just an enjoyable movie for me. But
Yeah.
But Guardians is getting a 100% rating from test audiences, which is kind of unheard of. And
insane.
I'm such a big fan of the first movie, because I always explain to people, like, there's like levels with comic book movies, as far as like, if you had told me when I was a kid one day there's going to be a great X-Men live action adaptation, I'd have been like, you're stupid. Like why would they ever do that? And somebody did it, and it was incredible.
One of the best series of movies, I feel.
It's got its high points. To me, First Class is the best thing they've ever done, and maybe Logan,
there's a
Logan
few.
right behind
There's a
it.
few. X-Men Origins, get rid of that, and the one where he goes to Japan. Those two are just kind of.
The Wolverine
X3.
was okay. Yeah, X3 was one of the low points, but anyway, but they pulled off X-Men, and if you said like, hey, they're gonna do an Avengers movie, like, that sounds like a terrible idea, but Avengers was incredible. And then when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, like, I'm a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, from the comic that it's actually based on, not the, like, there's actually a current comic that Marvel's actually doing 2 Free Comic Book Day comics this year. One is
3
Secret
if you
Empire.
count the B-sides.
Yeah, well, they have, so there's a Guardians comic, and nothing against it, and it's very popular, and I hope people check it out, but it's not really based on the version of it that the movie is sort of inspired by.
This one is.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's getting complicated, but I'm a huge Guardians fan, and when they announced it, what I told people was like, look, I want to be excited for this, but I can't see a movie like this finding an audience, because if you read the original Guardians of the Galaxy stuff from, what was it, 08? I think it was 08. It's really weird, like much weirder than the movie. And but when I saw that movie, it was like, if they can do that, they can do anything. There's literally no new frontiers as far as like weird movies if you can pull off Guardians of the Galaxy. So, you know, Volume 2, I'm absolutely on board. The first trailer was kind of whatever, but the second trailer where Groot steals the bomb, I'm like, I'm 100% on board.
I'm trying to avoid watching commercials.
I usually have a 1 trailer limit, because I don't like having like the constant like, oh, this is the entire movie. But the first trailer was just so to me, but the second trailer was like, I'm 100% on board. Whereas Thor, the first trailer was all you needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, that's an hour and 30 minutes. I saved. You know, it's 2 minutes. Like with Star Wars, when it initially came back, I did not watch one commercial. I got into the theater, and I'm like, I don't know.
And that was your first experience of
I don't know how
that
you
movie?
managed
Of that movie. I'm like,
That's awesome.
I don't know what I went blackout. I'm like, I can't watch anything. And then I got to the movie theater premiere, and I knew nothing. Didn't know who was in the movie. I just knew nothing about the movie. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. And then they started blinking the poster on the screen, and I started analyzing it. And I'm like, I yelled out, "Fuck!" I'm like, a third Death Star. God damn it! This is so unoriginal. But I still loved it because it was a new Star Wars. So the first time watching it, I'm like, wow, you know, all this new stuff. And you watch it a second time, and then you actually take it for what it is, and it's just a reintegration. That's I feel like that's what's gonna happen for me when I watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's like, wow, this, and then I'm actually take it for what it is.
Well, Guardians doesn't tell you too much about what's actually going on in the trailer. You know, from the trailer, Thor
Tells you.
really doesn't either. But
I mean, his hammer gets broken. You see Hulk. He's in chains. Done.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I because of what we do, and basically, I mean, partially because of who I am, I follow a lot of like the production of things like this, and so I like the idea for the movie. The premise of it is that it's supposed to be somewhat of a road trip movie, like a buddy road trip movie with Thor and the Hulk, and there's also elements from Thor: The Dark World where Odin was replaced apparently Anthony Hopkins originally was like, I'm not coming back, so you might as well say he's dead, which was weird. But so you're gonna find out what happened to Odin, and so they have to go look for him. There's they've got Natalie Portman left, and for whatever reason, the actress Jamie Alexander, I believe, played Sif. She's apparently not the love interest in this one either, so they got rid of both the love interests, and now there's
he's Thor, man. That's what he does.
So there's
He's a player with that hammer.
There's a lot that's going on in the movie, and the trailer shows you probably about half of the story elements. But there's going to be a lot of surprises. Now, will future trailers give away more? I don't know, but like I said, I'm a maybe two trailer person.
Like that's like I said, like when I want to see something that knows everyone's telling me it's good, like the last Wolverine movie that just came out.
Logan, yeah.
Yeah, someone posted the ending. It was like, oh, these are the things I really like. And it was like a photo of space brownies.
That actually happened to both of us.
And at the very bottom, Logan dies at the end. And I was like, punch the computer. I'm like, and then I unfriended that person. And
the thing that happened to me, it wasn't someone that posted it. Someone I was friends with, one of their friends posted it on their wall.
And it tagged him. And
it, it came up in the feed.
Her friend was tagged by this person.
Yeah. His was worse.
For me, I went to go see it the Friday that it opened, so technically the second day. I went at 3 p.m. I'm literally at the computer, and it's printing out my ticket, and two guys walk out, and one of them goes, "Man, you can't kill Wolverine." And I looked up, I was like, "Are you joking? Are you serious? Did that really just happen?" And somebody was like, "Did you kick his ass?" I was like, no, I didn't get myself arrested over a Wolverine movie.
I don't think you got arrested.
I still cried. I mean, I knew it was happening.
Wait, hold on. Y'all are trying to tell me that he died? I haven't actually seen that one yet. That's the one that I haven't seen.
I'm sorry, but like the movie came out, a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
Like,
it's actually not really that much of a spoiler.
Even though you know that happens,
it doesn't ruin it.
No,
it doesn't.
You're like, when is he gonna do it? Is this it? Oh my god, this is it. Oh no, never mind. Oh, this is it. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, most movies I am pretty anti-spoiler, and a lot of movies I feel like you do ruin a lot of it by spoiling it. That one, for whatever reason, it was fine. I did have somebody. I'm a big fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, and at the end of 6, there's a credit scene where Jason Statham comes out, and this chick that I know, who's apparently, you know what, I'm not going to talk about her, but I found out she's dating her cousin. Anyway, I just like telling people that. Anyway, she went and saw a sneak preview of it, and she literally goes on Facebook and goes, "I can't believe Jason Statham shows up at the end of Fast and the Furious." And I was like, dude, like, no one knew that. Somehow they kept Jason Statham a secret.
Yeah.
And you know, and I was
you fucking ruined it.
Right.
For
And the movie hadn't even come out. And I told her, I was like, why would you do that? Like, there's no benefit to this. Why would you do that? And she was like, oh, it's not a big deal. I was like, yeah, you know, like, we're representing BSI right now. I don't want to be me. But I was like, just, you know, and that's a big issue at Free Comic Book Day is, I always try to tell people, like, be polite, because a lot of people can't go see a movie opening night. And so Guardians comes out that Thursday, especially for comic book employees. Like, we're going to be...
y'all are going to be swamped.
Oh, I mean,
pretty much Wednesday on.
He's not going to be there.
I'm actually not even going to be there this year. But normally speaking, like, You know, so like he's not gonna get a chance to go see Guardians on Thursday or Friday.
I'll
so,
pirate it for you.
But
Got that Cody.
But, you know, so sometimes people come in and they're all excited. And I get it. It's free comic book day. So people are excited and they want to talk about the movie. But it's like, look, 75% of the people here have jobs, have something going on. They don't want the movie spoiled for them. So you got to try and be polite and not.
Just be a
courteous
decent
and
human
kind.
being.
Where
Well, I know also there's a lot of
headphones.
people that they'll go to free comic book day, and then their next stop is the theater.
Mm-hmm. And some people do it in the reverse, like they'll go that morning, which understandable. But again, like if there's something that you're looking at, like, you know, try to get there.
We will run out of
Yeah.
90% of the books. So
And sometimes 100%. It really just depends on the year. And, you know, I mean, as sad as it is to run out, like that means we had a pretty good.
It's good for
pretty
you
good
guys.
showing. Yeah.
Bad for other people.
Well,
because we
it
usually
depends
try
on
to
the-
order a little bit extra to use for like promotions and stuff throughout the rest of the year, but we never really have any left over.
It actually depends on what kind of customers are coming in. Like we always do pretty well on Free Comic Book Day, but there are some people who are supposed comic book fans who they only show up one day a year. They get their free comics and they leave, and it's like, all right, dude. Thanks. You know, like
I've been trying to make it out to the drink and draw because I remember last year, Pickle had all his art supplies out. I'm like, what's this for? And he's like, oh, the drink and draw. You know, and that's something I've been wanting to make out to.
It's a good
you
time.
we can add you to the group. We have a Facebook group.
I didn't know that. Huh. But also, like, so far, like for me, there's like Crescent City Comics, but on
Really good store.
over on Oak Street, and it's not the main one. It's just
Well, the
I
new
think
one,
it's
the
the
one on
new one.
Ferret used to be like, well, I mean, originally they were out by UNO,
Yeah.
and then Katrina happened and they got wiped out.
so like
but
the one that's close to me. It doesn't have a huge supply, so it's just like it's hard finding that dedicated comic book store.
well, the one that's on Ferret is kind of like it's not phased out, but it's kind of like their side store now.
Yeah,
And the other one is where they keep all the,
yeah.
you know, but yeah, they're a really good store. You know, I mean, I don't know any of them personally, but they've always been nice when I go in.
So
We try to go to other people's stores and stuff like that and
Yeah,
be
support
friendly.
local.
Yeah.
So I actually have a little game set up for you guys. We call it
Click the button.
What's
the
the
plot?
Plot? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off the main plot of the bad guy in a variety of superhero movies. And the goal is to guess which movie it is.
Is the answer Die Hard in any of these?
No. This is all superhero.
Under Siege.
Have you seen Die Hard?
Well,
It's a superhero movie.
yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Fast and Furious. So are we taking turns, or are we?
I'd say if you can guess it, you know, if you know it.
Let's keep scoring.
Yeah.
They can go against each other.
Oh, he's gonna win, but I'll try.
Okay, so the first one. The bad guy makes a fortune in real estate by buying large amounts of barren desert land.
Oh,
After learning that the U.S. Army and U.S. Navy will launch a twin nuclear missile test, bad guy diverts one missile to a weak point in the San Andreas Fault.
oh. At first, I thought it was Superman Returns, because the plot of that was about real estate. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Is it San Andreas?
No?
Millions will die. Billions.
It is the original Superman, though.
So neither of you get that point.
Oh, is it Superman 3?
No, the very first
He literally
Superman.
just said it's the original Superman.
Like
Oh,
the
okay.
one that was made in like 79 or whatever.
Oh, wow. Is that the plot of it? I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in a while.
Let's see. The bad guy creates a successful the goal is to create a successful fusion power source by any means necessary. A special device takes over the bad guy's body, and once the first attempt fails, he goes rogue to try to make the fusion reactor work.
Sounds like Batman and Robin.
I don't know. I don't know. Sounds like Chain Reaction.
Spider-Man 2.
Oh.
Doc Ock.
I guess.
I
I was
actually-
thinking Mr. Freeze and Batman
Yes.
and Robin.
There's a lot of
Ock.
these where what I did was I went to Wikipedia and looked at the actual plot story and took that paragraph
All right. Well,
and removed any kind of
Yeah, I get it.
true
haven't-
giveaway things like, if they say Gotham City, I remove Gotham City.
I haven't seen the original Superman movie in many years, and I actually hate Spider-Man 2. So there was no chance of me doing those. I think it's a terrible movie.
It's a fun movie.
Okay. The next one. Kidnap the United World Organization's Security Council using a dehydration device. Destroy superheroes using dehydrated henchmen.
It's so ridiculous when you take out the word.
That sounds.
But this is
incredible.
actually what the plot is. I mean,
dehydrated henchmen.
yeah. Dehydrated
yeah, when you
henchmen.
don't drink your water. You guys drink your water, so you're hydrated. What they do is they don't give them any water for days and dehydrate them.
Is this G.I. Joe?
No,
Classic
this was
Cobra?
Batman 66, the original Batman movie.
Oh,
He used dehydrated henchmen to attack the bat
I,
layer.
I have a can of shark repellent at
yeah.
the
I
shop.
remember the shark repellent thing. That was a ladder question, most likely.
Okay.
These are good.
They are
So
good.
far,
Yeah.
so far we're 3 for 3.
I don't know. I'm kind of mad. I was like, oh,
No, once you hear what it is, it's hilarious.
Stop an evil doctor from destroying superhero types using a special mind control device. Bad guy then uses the same mind control device to destroy or attempts to use the same special mind control device to destroy all humans.
is this X-Men?
X-Men.
Apocalypse?
No.
No, it's one of the original ones. Is it 2?
It is 2.
Yeah.
1 point.
Boom. Yeah, because he used Cerebro. Initially, Stryker had made
For the
the
mutants.
second Cerebro, which he was trying to use to find
Mutants.
the mutants to kill him.
And
then-
then Magneto got
Rogue.
Tried to use it and reversed it. Yes.
Ugh.
Use a data mining algorithm that can identify individuals who might become future threats
Civil War.
to evil
No,
organizations'
it's,
plan.
Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh, Winter Soldier.
1
Bam!
Whatever.
1 to 1.
Yeah.
That one was obvious.
Control all criminal enterprises in the host city, slowly destroying all other villains, and attempts to kill random power people until the superhero is caught.
Wait, say it again? Like, that's confusing.
The plot of the bad guy was to control all criminal enterprises in the host city.
Like gangs.
He slowly destroys all of the other gangs and attempts to kill random power people until the superhero is caught.
Is it Batman?
Which one?
That's confusing because
Batman Returns, maybe?
no, it sounds like the first one. It's not Keaton Batman.
No. Dark Knight.
Oh,
4 points for us.
But you were very, very close. It was Batman.
Was Batman?
Create a cure. Create a cure all for crippling injuries, which actually is flawed and causes people to explode. To get his cure fixed, the bad guy plans to kill the president and put a puppet in leadership, unless the superhero can help him fix the cure.
It sounds like Extremis. It's not Iron Man.
Yeah, it might be Iron Man 3.
That's Extremis.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The comic book is called Extremis. I'm sorry.
I was trying to trick you.
Yeah.
Destroy the Earth using natural disasters.
The Happening.
Hero must fight off a secret intergalactic police force. This one I had to take out a lot of names within its description.
Is it Green Lantern?
No?
It sounds like
Intergalactic Police Force.
Galaxy Quest.
Man, I'm really bad at this.
Flash. The original Flash Gordon.
Yeah. All right.
I guess it's comic serials.
That was a movie.
I only have a few more
Yeah,
of
but
them
they're
here.
supposed to be comic book movies.
It is a comic book movie.
It's kind of. Flash
come
Gordon was
on.
a serial.
A former pupil steals ancient texts containing a ritual that can
Doctor
raise.
Strange.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty.
You guys are 2 for 2.
Yeah, the movies that I've seen in the last year or two.
Well, ancient. You should have taken out ancient. That would have been way more confusing.
A Russian mobster is trying to unite the mob families of LA under his control. The DA killed the superhero's father as he was trying to bribe said father to help persuade LA's citizens that the crime issues were not so bad as they really are. Meanwhile, Russian mobster offers a large reward to the superhero for the death of, ironically, the superhero's alter ego.
That's a good one.
It really is LA though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Terminator.
Punisher? I don't know.
This is a good game.
Green Hornet.
Yeah.
All right. It's hilarious. Once you hear
Wait.
it, you're like, yep, that absolutely is what happened.
That one is actually not a comic book movie.
Sure it is.
No, Green Hornet was Bruce Lee's creation.
Okay.
It was a TV show.
Let's see. The baddie
Suck it.
uses technology and unorthodox treatments to help people's ailments. Meanwhile, the treatment gives the treated special powers. The superhero makes it his life's purpose to catch the bad guy and get him to reverse some of what he's caused.
Why not all?
Isn't that the plot of Sliders? Damn.
What kind of superpowers?
What kind of superpowers?
The Bourne Identity?
Different people get different superpowers.
Okay.
Like, you can't control what you get.
Is it an X-Men movie?
No, well,
It's in the same universe.
very, very, yeah.
All right.
It's just off of the X-Men universe.
which one?
Just off of it.
Oh, Deadpool?
Yes.
3 for 2.
Oh, okay.
After helping try to defeat his people's enemy, he finds out that said enemy is his father. He then helps his father try to kill his adopted father and take back a treasure that his adopted father took during a battle.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck
This
could chuck
one
wood?
had me tripped up.
Once his plan is realized, the good guys try to stop him, and he sends a powerful AI-controlled device after the good guys. All along, he was plotting his actual father's failure to show his ultimate power.
Is this Age of Ultron?
No?
Are they human?
Yeah.
I don't.
Then I have no idea.
Thor.
Okay.
Talking about Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loki makes sense.
Yeah.
kill the good guy and his team to acquire a special treasure that holds great power. He captures the treasure, and rather than giving it to his superior, he uses the power of the treasure himself to attempt to destroy a planet and threatens to kill his superior.
Transformers the movie.
No.
That is the plot of Transformers the movie. I am positive of that. It was originally a comic book.
It sounds like Avengers. No?
No.
You're in the right universe.
Marvel?
It is a
Yes.
Is it the new Fantastic Four
We're
movie?
not gonna let you guys have to keep going, like on this one.
Okay. So there's a treasure.
a special treasure.
A special treasure.
that holds great power.
And the bad guy is supposed to give it to a bigger bad guy, but he keeps
Oh,
it.
is this Guardians of the Galaxy?
That is.
Okay. Same plot as Transformers the movie.
Figured out the secret.
Evil alien, dark overlord of the universe.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I should get 2 points for that.
You should. You should. I only got 5 words out.
Don't act like you weren't impressed by that.
I was so impressed. I was like, can you see it?
I'm
No.
I'm impressed that you actually were willing to admit that you'd seen that movie.
I love that movie.
Why for the
I know
duck
Quack
tits?
Fu.
The whole thing was evil alien, dark underlord of the universe wants to sacrifice all human life in order to free his fellow species from their celestial prison. He tried to use a dimension machine to transport one of his brethren to Earth into the body of a struggling rock star.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of that movie. So
That
And
explains so much.
The last one that I have here. A man has a health ailment which gives him special powers. To avoid capture, the man goes into hiding. To try to find a cure for his ailment, he sends blood samples to a scientist.
Oh, that's
That is
Incredible
doing-
Hulk.
sounds.
Yes.
Yeah. The Norton one, not
Yes.
the Ang Lee one.
That's why I said Incredible.
Oh, sorry.
So very good, guys.
Fun fact: I almost bought a prop from that movie. I almost bought one of the bottles of drink.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Like the cola or whatever.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
or energy drink.
Would it
was
have Stan Lee spit in it?
Maybe.
That can be arranged.
That was fun.
Yeah. So again, I,
I'm
want to
kinda mad
remind
at you.
You should do that with other guests, like with other movies.
Well, that's what
I watched
I-
the hell
I-
out of that.
I was talking to him yesterday. I'm like, what if we just very vaguely give the plot to movies? And since you guys are common, he was like, comic, super evil villains plots.
Dig it.
Like
Yeah.
I heard one which is like, man kills kids in factory, and you're like, what? And it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He doesn't kill them, but he like deforms all of them and shit.
Yeah.
You know.
The purple chick blows up, doesn't she?
No, she get, and then the one kid gets stretched out.
I thought
'cause
she
he's
went
so
through
small.
a fan, or no, that was Family Guy.
Oh no, the Augusta. He gets sucked up in the. Goes through the chocolate machine.
So,
I think we're on to something here.
Yeah.
Was that difficult? Was it too hard?
No, it was fun.
Yeah. Once you hear
Yeah.
the answer, you're
That's
like,
the best
oh
part.
yeah,
Once
that
you hear,
is
you're like,
it.
yep, that's absolutely what happened.
I'm mad.
There's so many of them. I had to edit out words because there was giveaway words. Like
That's what
at
makes
one
it
point,
better, though.
Yeah, at one point, superhero types. The actual word in the sentence was mutants.
Right.
You know, but I figured you can't just straight up say mutants because then you'd immediately
No,
say
then you know
X-Men.
exactly
You know?
where you're at.
Host City, obviously, it said Gotham. So on and so forth. But
The
yeah,
Thor one was really confusing.
so I want to thank y'all again for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having us,
Thank
man.
you.
I want to remind everybody on May 6th, go check out Free Comic Book Day over at BSI. If you're not in New Orleans, you can check out your local comic book store, or you can go to freecomicbookday.com, where you can put in your zip code and find.
They'll have a list of all the books coming out, and they'll show every store that's participating. So.
Yeah. So, also, I want to remind everybody, go check out BSI Comics Podcast. You can check that out at bsicomics.com. You can check out MHOG, which you do a weekly show called MHOG, M-H-O-G.
Yep, twice weekly.
MHOGpodcast.com.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of The Scoop.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Again, I want to thank the BSI comic book guys for coming in and joining us. Be sure to go check out Free Comic Book Day on May 6th. BSI Comics here in Metairie, Louisiana is a proud participant in the event. You can go and get some free comic books, see some great people, some great artists, have a great time. You can check them out at bsicomics.com. You can check out their podcast that they do. You can check out us on picklescoop.com. Subscribe to The Scoop on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/The Scoop Show, at PScoop Podcast on Twitter. If you're watching this, you're on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed already, click the little subscribe button down below.
Click it.
You can check out Devin with all of his photography and artwork.
On Facebook and on the website.
Yes.
Flamingo.
Flamingo.com. Flemingo.
Yeah, it's like a little song. Flemgio.
So, as always, thank you for watching.
And get out of here.
Till the next show, Scoop out.